Danny, in Wisconsin, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Danny? Talk to me.
Stephen A. Smith, when you think about the GOAT of sports, you think about Mike with 6, Brady with 7 rings. But where do you rank a guy like Lightning McQueen with 7 Piston Cups?
I would tell you,
Monocle and
GOAT.
top hat.
How are you going to be the GOAT? Because you're talking about the movie Cars, right? You talk about the movie Cars, right? I mean, when you talk about Stripper King Weathers and Lightning McQueen, they're both tied with 7 Piston Cups. Strip Weathers, you forgot about him? How can you be the GOAT? You got somebody that's tied with you? You got somebody that's tied with you? Sorry, that ain't gonna work. I know you tried to catch me with that. You didn't think I knew that about that. You didn't think I knew about that.
When you think about Lightning McQueen, not just 7 Piston Cups, you got 28 circuits. You got 28 circuits under his belt.
Strip Weathers has 7 Piston Cups. I am not about to sit here and argue with a grown-ass man about the movie Cars. Strip Weathers has 7 Piston Cups. You should have brought me somebody that didn't have as many Piston Cups.
Old engine cars. Talk about guy Lightning McQueen. That's like comparing the Jerry West era. You can't.
Danny, how old?
Different eras.
I'm 21, Steven.
You're 21. Okay, well, you're still a young man. You're a young man. What about Fast and Furious? You watched that movie?
Yeah, Fast and Furious.
Which one did you like better, 5, 6, or 7? I mean, 8, 9, and 10 are good too, but which one did you like better, 5, 6, or 7? Because I like 5 to 7.
5.
You like 5? That was with Vin Diesel and The Rock going at it when The Rock was trying to hunt him down and all of that other stuff. What I'm saying to you is I think you picked the right one because I like 5 a lot. I really, really did. My point is, if you're going to argue with me about something, how about it not be an animated movie like Cars? How about it be something like Fast and Furious? I would have appreciated it.
Even Cars is as real to little kids as much as
You're 21! You would have a point if you were 7 years old calling me. You're 21 years old. What are you doing, wearing a diaper?
Goodbye, man. I saw that last night and I thought it was just a troll account and I clicked on the video and my first thought was, did Nick see this?
He's been answering all that stuff. Like he answered like thoughts on Latino women. Like this is just what he does.
There was the one I wanted to play last podcast, but I never got to it. It's like, what's the worst day to be horny? And then there was another one where it's like, are you watching sports during sexual intercourse? And then he's like, no, if you're watching sports while doing sexual intercourse, that means you're not paying attention. I want to read some of the replies to it. Anyway, won 7 Piston Cups in less than 10 years, raced against multiple legends, and dominated an all-car race where there were rally cars, F1 cars, and touring cars. It took the king 36 years to get 7 Piston Cups. I know my GOAT, and it's a picture of Lightning McQueen. Steven, you need to acknowledge Chick Hicks' racism allegations.
Yeah, where was Chick Hicks on January 6th?
Respect Dog Hudson, bro. He may have raced against plumbers, but he's the real GOAT. There's the other tweet. I haven't seen Cars 3. It was like the car, like the main villain in that movie. It's like, yeah, could you imagine him playing in a previous era? Like he would have got like dusted or whatever. Like he would have got destroyed. Too funny.
Don't ever say Cars doesn't have a cult following, because it definitely does.
You definitely don't have a friend who loves Cars.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Could you imagine like Mike Francesa answering those questions like, oh, what? I've never watched the movie Cars before. What's a Lightning McQueen?
I need Alex Jones to answer that question.
Actually, I like Chick Hicks way better than.
No, where's the goddamn scrub? All right.
They made Dynaco is woke. Lightning McQueen shouldn't go to Dynaco. It's woke. Turning the frogs gay. Yeah. So that's Stephen A. Smith talking about Cars. It's every time I open up my Twitter and he's like, he'll just be replying to the most unhinged shit and he'll have like a video reply to it. I love it. Speaking of actually I don't know where I was going this. Let's switch to hockey here. Let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawks last 3 games, which they all lost, but there is a lot of positives to come out of it. The first game they played the Bolts. they got off to a good start, but it's evident that the Hawks don't have the talent of like a Tampa Bay. Don't really even have the talent of the Preds or the Sabres. Like they're hanging in there, but I feel they kind of just run out of gas at the end and can't really, put the cleats on the throat and take over. They kind of just collapse at the end.
So you say that. What I see is they lost to a really bad Nashville team and a limping Buffalo team. So it's kind of unacceptable. Like, I don't even care how bad they are. You had so much time off before that Nashville game and just laid an egg again. Oh, wait, but they competed till the third. That's fine. Whatever. I'm so tired of it, honestly. Like, I'd rather they just get blown out sometimes. Like, it's such a exhausting way to watch this team. Just them limp back into a tie game and then lose because they don't have the talent. Like, I don't care. It's so bad. And they're not losing, like, the goals they're letting in the third, they need to correct. Because if that continues to be a thing, that's something that sticks with you. Not being able to win in the third period is going to stick with you after a long time. And that's 3 straight games where they went in tied in the third and couldn't figure it out. I don't know, man. Like, it's not something I'm too happy about. I don't care how young this team is. I don't care how bad on paper this team is and on the ice. You are trying to put at least some form of like winning structure into this team, or at least try to push them, and it's not working. Like the Lightning game, they had 2 shots in the third period. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I don't care if you're down. I don't care if you're up by 4. That's unacceptable. You should never have 2 shots in the third period. Whatever. Also, Arvid Soderblom might need to go back down to Rockford. Just
definitely.
He can't. He's bitching at the refs because he can't cover the puck. Like, dude, if you can't cover the puck in the crease, you're not going to succeed at this level. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. And I know his confidence has been shot since the Arizona game. I blame that on the coach, if we're being honest. Coach should have taken him out of that game.
No, what was it? He was in for 6 or 7 goals.
He's in for 7. You can't leave your goalie in for 7. I'm sorry. His confidence has been fucking shattered ever since then. And he has not been able to build it back up because he can't win a game because the offense won't do anything for him. Like, Richardson was right in that interview. They don't do anything for them. Soderblom needs to make saves, but also the guys in front of him aren't helping him that much, which is unfortunate. And I didn't think that with Tenorti and Zaitsev being out, we'd see this with the back end, because the back end was like, it was bad, but it was fine. But like, apparently Jared Tenorti was the duct tape on that back end, because Kaiser's looked lost since he's been gone. Phillips has looked fine. But
I liked how Phillips has looked. Yeah. Kaiser has struggled.
There's a couple guys in the teams that need resets. Like, obviously, yes, there are positives. Reichel's on like what, a 4-game point streak. That's a positive. But
got the monkey off his back.
Exactly, got the monkey off his back with a goal. Bedard and Kurashev are performing. Like, that's fine. I'm not even that worried about. That, if anything, that's the only positive with the team. My problem is just I don't want this team to get stuck in a losing way like they did last year.
Bad habits.
To where these 18, 19, and 20-year-old players start getting negative as shit every day when they get to the ice because they're losing every time they step on. Like, I can't stress enough they need to win this game tonight. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, this is the great tank game. You need to lose. No, you need to fucking win and get this team some confidence going into their coming schedule. Because I'm sorry, I don't want to see all of our young prospects have shattered confidence by January. And you keep losing games like that, it's going to stack. I don't mean to get into a tangent, but it's just like when you watch them lose the same way 3 games in a row, you gotta wake up the boys somehow on that one. And I don't know how. We've seen them respond differently 2 times when they've had 4 days off. They responded how they did against the Lightning, where they won 5-3, and then they responded against the Lightning again, where they lost 3-2 and actually looked flat-footed. Like, I've never seen a more flat-footed team after 4 days off. But yeah, I don't know. Show me something tonight. That's all I got to say. 98 doesn't need to show me something, but everyone else, show me something. Number 4, show me something. Oh, also Mrazek's played out of his mind. I'm not worried about him either.
Mrazek has been perfectly fine. Soderblom, I think, is going to get sent down to Rockford one point or another, because it's just, that game, and like he was,
that Nashville game's on him. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Because those first 2 goals should not go in.
No,
they should. And newsflash, it was 4-2. But like, all these games are 4-2, but they're 3-2 with like the last second empty netter. It's just Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Like, I think one way or another, there was gonna be a way where Comesso or Stauber, or hell, even both, are gonna come up and get chances, and that might be now sooner than we thought it might happen. Like, it might happen in December as opposed to maybe like January, February around the All-Star break. And goalies, it's voodoo wizard dream bullshit, like as always. But you see the glimpses of brilliance with Arvid Soderblom, and you know why the Blackhawks, this front office, and everyone else thinks that this could be, the number one guy of the future. It takes time. Like, Corey Crawford wasn't a regular goalie till 26, 27. Soderblom is 24 years old. Like, it's never linear. He might have to go back down to Rockford, or who knows. Like, he's not playing tonight, but maybe the next game he comes out and gets, like, I don't know, like only 1 or 2 goals against. But yeah, it's I totally get the frustration, but it's just hard for me. Like,
it's not that they're losing;
yeah.
it's just the way they're losing. It's bad habits that are gonna stay with them if they keep it up. And the only reason I get so fed up is because I watched it with the last Young regime, where all the kids came in and they started getting those losing ways into their fundamentals, and they brought it up. It sticks with you. It does stick with you. If anyone thinks it does, like with the greats, yeah, it probably doesn't. But most players, it does stick with you. The puck watching, the leaning back on your goalie when you're up 3-2, we just need a save type of play. Like, I don't know. Like, I just want to see them. Like, they're not going to do it every night. I understand that. But, like, at least once a week, I want you to look like one of the better teams on the ice that day. And I feel like that's reasonable. I don't need you to do it every game. But, like, at least one of those Tampa, Nashville, Buffalo games, you should have won. Period. You should have won. It's one thing, like, I could deal with it. And it's because it dates back to the start of the season, too. Because honestly, this team gets up for their competition most of the time. Like, when they play a better team, they actually play them relatively
well. They play them well, yeah.
My problem is they don't get up for people that are their level of competition. And that scares me because they overlook teams like that, and they have no right to. Think of the Montreal game. They got smoked against Montreal because they thought they were better than them. They got smoked in the Nashville game. Well, they didn't get smoked in the Nashville game, but Nashville did outpace them for a good majority of that game because they overlooked them.
Yeah,
they overlooked them. And then there's one more I'm missing on here. Arizona. They overlooked Arizona.
That was
unacceptable.
Trounced. Yeah, that's unacceptable.
I wouldn't make such a big deal, but if you overlook Columbus tonight, who is itching for a win,
they have less wins than you do. They are 4-11-4. We're gonna talk about, like, because they're way worse off than the Blackhawks are. Like, they
100%. Like, the Hawks panic meter isn't even the highest. I'm not saying to panic. I'm just saying let's not. I don't know. It's just some of the certain things they do. Let's fix the penalty kill. Let's not go 8 straight games at letting up a power play goal. How about that? Like, especially when you're losing 3-2 games. Like, there are very fixable things here, and that's why I'm getting so amped up about it, because it's not an impossible fix like Columbus looks, for example, or like Edmonton or San Jose. It's like, okay, yeah, we know you're bad. Just if you work on these little things, you could be bad just a little bit less, which would help the boys, I think, a little bit more. Because I don't want these dudes miserable come January. We know what that looks like, and it shows on the ice. I don't know, man. I just get worried about that because we saw what happened, especially last year, right? Because the Hawks started off actually decent last year. Remember, everyone was like, wow, they're actually overperforming of expectations. And then they lost like 15-17 or something.
Yeah, it was rough, yeah.
You could see every time they stepped on the ice, they knew they weren't going to win. They knew they weren't going to win. Kind of like Columbus right now, honestly. I just don't want it to get to that level. That's what
body language. Body language is huge.
I don't want it to get to that level. And the body language isn't showing. Like, Bedard's getting pissed when he's missing, when he's getting trucked. Like, that's not the body language I'm talking about. That's actually a good thing. I'm talking like you just look deflated all the time. Yeah. And I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that because I feel like this group is better than that. Maybe not on paper, but if they play their best hockey like we've seen this year, they can compete with almost anyone. Hell, they beat Vegas this year. So I don't know. That's the only reason I get so amped, because it's like I could see them getting just a little bit better. I'm not saying playoff good. I'm just saying win a game here and there. Don't get on these big losing streaks.
No, I agree with that. Like, they had just a horrendous like start for like the schedule in terms of the quality of competition. Like, I'll give them a mulligan for that, but yeah, the way and yeah, you get like mad, you get amped up because of that, because like they're in those games, like those little adjustments they can make and potentially win those games. So
They're not healthy
yeah,
either. I get that.
oh yeah, they're poor Taylor Hall, man. Like it's just
I don't even
it's
know what AA's injury is. He's been out since the other Tampa game. Like I don't even like he's like as much as he hasn't impacted this year. Like his speed alone opens up so much in the middle six. Like I don't know. Time to call up Colton Doc. let's give him a weekend look. Let's see how he looks.
It's 82 games, man. Like it's
I know.
a process. I remember going through this last year, and it's like I've like mentioned these past few podcasts, like I just haven't been able to get in a groove with how the schedule making is going, and it just feels like yesterday there's no games, and
well,
yeah,
I don't blame him for yesterday. There were only 3 available arenas apparently. So
okay.
That gets well. I mean, like I looked it up. I'm like, oh, there's 16 NBA games. That makes a little, or 15 NBA games. That makes a little more sense. But yeah,
okay, that's fair. But like I would get it more if like they scheduled properly before, and I'd be like, okay, one day.
Yeah, but they don't get the benefit of the doubt. No.
Exactly. But
I get what you mean.
But yeah, we're gonna go through this. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. There's already been some growing pains, but again, I think there's also tons of positives to take. Like the goaltending, Mrazek has been great. Soderblom, I think we've seen glimpses of brilliance. Like I think it's definitely a mixture of him, not being as great as he could be, but also the defense letting him down. It's a mixture of the two. Seth Jones,
Stop being Superman with the puck. Jesus Christ.
Stop
Jesus Christ. Literally one of the empty netters. He's trying to go coast to coast. Like, F off. Like, some games, it works. The one game against Florida, he looked possessed in the third period. That's fine. You're not going to be that every night. And he thinks he is. Whatever.
He's got to know his role. Like, when he's on his game, like he's that top pairing guy that can anchor it down. But I feel when he's trying too much, trying to be the hero, that's when you get into mistakes, and that's where you get these like brain farts. He's a smart fundamental player. Stop trying to do too much. Like just do it's Jake Gardner syndrome. Like he plays 95% of the game so well, but then when he does something stupid, it feels like it just messes up the whole game and everyone's
like
on
letting
him.
Eric Johnson get the inside gap on you for the 3-2 goal. Yeah, like that. Like it's just like I said, it's not that they're losing, it's how they're fucking losing is absolutely mind-boggling. Like the Buffalo and Tampa game alone make my brain melt. It stinks. And obviously there's things, like you said, there's things you could fix. Like they're going to switch Seth and Korchinski on the power play tonight. Hopefully that opens up more. Because for some reason, Seth Jones just loves to look off 98 on the power play because, his shot is just so much better with those 0 goals. So, good Lord, dude, that power play makes me want to rip my hair out. I get it. They're not the most talented team in the world, but there's enough talent to make a power play at least functional, you would think, right? Like, I don't know.
No, it's good that they're at least like making adjustments and not, just sticking with it too long. That it's insanity repeating the same thing, same results. Like we're seeing Reichel, Bedard, and Kurashev on the same line, which is cool.
And on the power play.
Yeah, defensively they are a tire fire, but they're like average age is like 20 years old. We can kind of live with that if they're putting up points like they have been. Like Kurashev's point per game, Bedard, if he isn't point per game, he's like clip right below that. Reichel is starting to find it. Like their forwards, they don't really have much depth. It's rough, but that's where, like you said earlier, Colton Dock scoring a hat trick in Rockford. Like maybe, he's not going to light the world up, but maybe that's a guy you call up, put on the power play, like maybe put him on the first power play, let him play the Corey Perry role, then put Corey Perry on the second, like give you a couple more options here, but it's not defense. Sorry.
I was just going to say with Doc, not only is the goal scoring impressive, but he gets to the front of the net and 5-on-5. Like, that's the number one thing I keep noticing with Doc is that guy's going to go to the net. He's going to go to the corners and get those pucks. And I don't know. I feel like Bedard and Kurashev could use a guy that goes fetch.
I was going to say put Doc. Like put Doc with Bedard and Kurashev. Put Reichel maybe with like
Taylor Hall,
Johnson Hall. Yeah. just to give you a little more offensive depth.
Yeah, and I'm glad Richardson hasn't like handcuffed himself into the lines like he did last year at one point. Like
Mhm.
I swear, AA, Domi, and Kane played like 30 games straight together last year. Like, no, once something doesn't work for a couple games, he's flipping it out. And honestly, he's getting more out of Foligno and Perry than I could have ever expected. Honestly,
Yeah,
like,
Foligno and Perry have been great. I think not only on the ice, but like also off it. Like they are great guys for those young guys, and like there's gonna be rough patches, but like all in all, from like what you see and what you hear, like they those guys are good presences in the locker room. They keep it light and fun. So
oh yeah. Yeah, like I said, like I for all the ranting I did, it's the right general direction. I would just like them to get off the schneid sooner than later
mhm.
because it you blink and it goes from 3 to 6. They got 3 games this week: Columbus, Toronto, St. Louis. I'd like them to pick up at least one.
Are you going to the Toronto game?
I am going to the Toronto
Oh,
game. I
hell
leave
yeah.
at 6 a.m. on Friday to get there.
Black Friday, huh?
Oh yeah, should be a hoot. 1 o'clock. Matthews versus Bedard. Not on national television for some reason.
What?
They
You mean to
can't.
tell
They
me
just
the
can't figure it
NHL?
out.
I was gonna say, you mean to tell me that NHL schedule makers can't, put the games half an hours apart so they're not all starting at once, even out, like balancing things out. They just show it all at once. Here's one day, 12 games, all of them start at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then there's one day where there's no games at all. Like,
Dude, this is so embarrassing. There's one game that starts at 7:30. The rest start at 7 today. This is embarrassing. 4, 5, 6, like 7, 8. What? There's 8 7 o'clock games today, and there's one 7:30. Like, what are we doing?
yeah,
No
this is
8
gonna be
o'clocks, no 9, or there's one 9 o'clock, 2 9 o'clocks, a 1 9:30, 2 and 3 10s. Like, whatever.
Yeah, this is
And
gonna
they
be a
wonder why people
thing.
don't watch. It's just
This is gonna be a season-long thing for me, like just trying to wrap my head around the scheduling. Like it's just atrocious.
I just laugh because, well, like, I don't mean to keep saying it, but Pierce, you got a little too used to baseball where there's a game every
Oh, it's
day.
definitely a
not
little
like
bit
that
of that.
anymore. It's
Yeah.
not like that anymore. But
I know.
like, I know what you mean. Like, what happened to just like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? Like, this should not be that. This should not be rocket
Yeah.
science, but it is. But
Yeah,
also, like, it's the 2 biggest stars that the NHL is trying to market right now, Bedard and Matthews. You can't put it on TV, though. Can't put it on TV. There's probably some stupid fucking rivalry college football game on that's going to take its slot. It better be like Florida State, but it's not going to be. It's going to be like Cincinnati and some bum school that no one cares, and they're going to take the ESPN slot.
Kentucky, where country music is the best.
And they'll get way better ratings than whatever the fuck was shown that day. Period. It's a pathetic sport.
Oh, it's definitely a little bit of the baseball thing where I'm like, oh, they play almost every day, but like I know I'm not fully crazy. Like the scheduling has been bad.
No, the scheduling's
It's
bad,
a little bit of
but
both.
it's not. I don't know.
It's 25-75.
I'm just used
I'd
to it.
say. Yeah, it's this game that they're gonna play in an hour against the Blue Jackets. Just win for your psyche, win for the sake of your mental health. Like, do it. It's a long.
Don't lose to a
season.
team that has 15 losses already this year, please.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we're far behind with 11, but let's not make it 12 tonight.
Yeah, and yeah, we can. There's plenty of things we can criticize about, but like the Blue Jackets are on a different plane of dysfunction.
Well, that's different. They're in 2021 Blackhawks territory because their GM
really
thought they
are.
were going to compete this year. So, and they went all in on a really shitty head coach. Didn't work. Now they have a guy who clearly is not an NHL coach. Sorry, Pascal Vincent has not showed me a goddamn thing to prove that he's a coach. Yeah, let's move the really, really good right winger we have that's a goal scorer to center. Oh, it didn't work. Let's not put him back in the wing.
Let's scratch him. Yeah.
Let's embarrass him. Like, you guys are fucking morons. Jesus. Oh, and now we're gonna be in the market for a center. That's great. Did you hear
Surely
this?
we didn't scratch Kent Johnson and embarrass him as well and piss him off.
Dude, gets so much worse. They told you, David Juracek, hey, go start looking for houses in Columbus. You're staying with us this year. They told him that 3 days ago. You want to know what happened 3 days later? He got sent down to the AHL, and that's where he's been ever since. This team is run like a effing tire fire. Unbelievable. And they won't fire their GM or president until the offseason, which sucks. So now they have to sit on this for the whole year. Like, they traded one of their first for Provorov last year, which ironically has been one of their only good players, which isn't a good thing. Your leading point getter has 10 points. Like,
Phil
and they're all
Kershaw
defensemen.
has that amount of points. I'm sorry.
Like, they have some good players. Like, Voronkov's been a bright spot, and Fantilli's been good. Like, had shown
I'm
signs.
sorry, who? Boronkov? That shows you how much I've been paying attention.
Yeah, no, like a 5th round pick from 2019. He's got like 8 points, I think, or something like that, and only playing 12 minutes a game. He's actually been pretty solid analytics wise, but they have no answer, and it comes down to the same thing again. They can't find a center, and they've tried everyone they have at center, and it hasn't worked. Except for, like, I guess they don't want to rush Fantilli into the 1C spot, but like at some point you're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to.
He's the only one that can carry the load. Gaudreau's in his own head.
Give it a try. Yeah.
Like, ugh. What are your thoughts about
him? Oh man, where do I start? Like, just what happened, like, with the whole Mike Babcock thing from like the start? Like, when did they hire him? May, June? I don't know. But sometime back in the summer in the off season, or we're like in the dog days of the playoffs. Like, a team that does that, how do you recover from that? Like, you're going into training camp, and already there's rumors flying around. Oh, Mike Babcock hasn't changed at all. He's doing this stuff where, he's asking people or like players if you can see pictures on their phone, which for most people, especially if you're a young player breaking in, that's incredibly uncomfortable. And like, obviously if you're an old vet, that doesn't matter. But how do you recover from that? Like, that's how you set the tone of the season. Like, how do you go from that and like try to push for a playoff spot? Because like, I don't know if they're like realistically they could push for the playoff spot, but they could still be like a team that competes and like hovers around 500, where you're thinking, okay, maybe not this year, but next year. Like, I look at their team, their goaltending, it wasn't great last year. It was awful, but like I still see Merge Lincolns who could potentially bounce back to what he was before.
Tarasov's good in their system.
Yeah.
Too.
I look at their defense. Like, they've drafted so much defensemen. You already brought up Juracek. Like, they already have guys on their defense. I think I saw Severson's injured for like 6 weeks. Like, they got Provorov. Like, they got guys on their blue line, and they got guys coming up that can fill the roles. Like, forwards, yeah, they don't maybe have the center right now, but like Fantilli is going to grow into that one day. You got Gaudreau and Line on contracts, like already established NHL players, but then you scratch Ken Johnson, you send him around like you fuck around with him, and I just what do you think was gonna happen? Like, did you think you're gonna like with Mike Babcock doing that in September? Like, are you able to like turn that around into a playoff spot? I don't know. Like, it's not even like an analytical thing so much as it as almost like a karma thing for me. Like, of course, yeah, like. That should be your sign from the hockey gods to fire Jarmo Kekalainen and John Davidson, who just, Jarmo Kekalainen, he's made some savvy moves. Like, all in all, like, I think the Blue Jackets are set up well, but I think you need a different, voice, a different leader to help usher in this new age of Blue Jackets talent, because the furthest they've been under Kekalainen is the second round in 2019. That's the only time they've been there. They've had trouble keeping guys in there. I just feel like you got to get a new culture in there.
Yeah. I feel like we said this 2 years ago. Like, Kekalainen should have been on the hot seat as soon as Bowman got canned, because that was the only dude keeping you.
Yeah, that's his guy. Yeah.
Like, this team was supposed to be done with the rebuild, and they're going right back into one.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you find the right coach, but like, unless you pay me, which they're not going to do, why would I go to Columbus?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just wait till someone fires their coach that shouldn't have. I'll go to Edmonton when they fire the interim coach. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that their problem is going to be they already weren't a appealing market to go to in the first place. What makes it appealing now? Like,
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you have to, like, it just doesn't sound like a fun environment there. Like, yeah, Columbus isn't a traditional hockey market, but like, I've heard, like, Columbus is a low key fun city. Like, you could sell people on Columbus if you have a good culture going, but it just seems like Yarmo, like, again, Mike, going back to Mike Babcock, like, it just seems like that still lingers on that franchise, and that's on Yarmo Kekalainen, that is on John Davidson. Like, why would you want to go and work for that team? Like, as a young player, that happening, like, do you feel comfortable? Like Ken Johnson, again, him going up and down, like getting scratched, David Yurchek, like, why would you want to play for that franchise if that's what's happening?
It's not
Just
good.
dysfunctional, and that's maybe putting it nicely.
Yeah, that's putting it nicely. It's a shit show. Like, I don't even. That's not going to resolve overnight. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
they might beat the Blackhawks tonight and get off the schneid, but like, what does that change?
Oh, you beat the Blackhawks. Wow.
Cool. You have 5 wins now. Welcome to the club.
you're fine. Yeah, you're finally on pace.
You're
with
5
the
and
Blackhawks.
20.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be something that you got to look back on in a month and hope that there's at least some change, or even 2 weeks. And if there's no change in 2 weeks, you got to make a move. Like, you as a GM, you have no other choice. You're going to get fired at the end of the year, right? So, I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to trade your first this year unless you don't have a brain, which then go ahead. But like, who are they going to trade with? Who's going to give them a center of top 6 quality? And what do they have to give? Like, are you going to undersell on Line? Like, hit up Kyle Davidson then if you're going to do that. Because I looked at his stats, and every other year except this year, this guy is either 50 points or point a game. So go ahead and sell on him.
Can we think about that though? Lining with the Blackhawks, one line you got Bedard, and then the second you got
one power play. You got both of them on both circles. Yeah, like, good luck. We can finally
just like
put Bedard on the right.
Two OV-esque shots on like both your power play units.
You got OV and Matthews on each side. It's great.
Oh my god! Please.
But
we give us Ken Johnson while you're at it. Like,
jeez, trade. I don't even know. I can't wait to hear someone say, "Let's trade high on Kurashev and get Line." It's like, who do we pick up? Bona fide 40 goal scorer, or a guy who's on a PDO bender in his first 10 games of the season?
I'm personally a guy who likes to go for small sample sizes. Let's keep Kurashev.
I'm taking the guy who is a 4th round pick.
Mm-hmm. He had to work harder to get into the NHL. Unlike that Line kid who played Fortnite.
Line fellow who had
shat on his ass.
Gift wrapped to him.
He was gift wrapped and everything. Yes. And then got traded from Winnipeg.
Can we just get Line to a team that actually knows how to use him, please? Like, for the love of God. I feel like this should not be that hard. This guy, like, he's got one of the best shots in the league. And that's now the 3rd coach just walked in and be like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, are you dumb? Is he stupid? Let him shoot. Like, Torts, I get. Torts was never going to like him. No. But Brad Larson, no excuse. Vincent, you got no excuse either. Like,
that's one. He's like one of those players that, like, yeah, you're not going to make him a defensive wizard. You just need to know that he's going to score 40 goals and let him do that.
You know who people accepted that with? Fucking Ovechkin and Patrick Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus
Phil
Christ.
Castle. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably a few more we can name.
Like, Mark Scheifele got that treatment for a decade. He couldn't play defense, but he could score.
So you know who's doing that? His former teammate in Winnipeg, Kyle Connor. I don't think he's necessarily great defensively, but I'm pretty sure he's leading the NHL in goals right now, or he's right up there.
So who gives a shit? It's just bad, dude. It's just bad.
But no, like, he doesn't play defense, which is true, but like, that's why you get him to score 40 goals and you get the rest of your team to, play defense. But what do I know? I ain't no NHL coach. I feel we haven't seen like a big like a decent trade. I feel like Columbus and Edmonton are gonna somehow get together and swing something just out of panic and desperation.
Well, Edmonton's sniffing around Montreal for a goalie, so you gotta think that's gonna be Sam Montembeault as the saving grace for that team,
or Jake Allen. Or
I don't think the Habs are gonna trade Jake Allen.
They have another goalie. Who is it? I think it's Primo. But I think they keep Primo because he's younger.
He's like 24, bro. Like, he's been young for 5 years. When's he gonna, like, I get it, goalies take longer, but like, I don't know, man. The guy can't be a backup. That's not a good sign.
I'm trying to make like a three-way trade where you just send like Line A and Edmonton would be pretty cool.
I don't know how the
I don't
salary
care.
would work, but
Make
yeah,
it
that'd be
big. Yeah.
cool.
Trade Jack Campbell.
Give him
I
Darnell
don't
Nurse.
Darnell Nurse with Eric and Branson. Oh yeah, that's the
That's the $1 million pairing right there.
that's
Or
like
$13
the
million pairing.
that's like yeah, that's like the 13 point something $million pairing. Yeah, that Eric Branson contract should also get you fired on the spot too. I will always remember that 4 years for Eric Branson. What?
What's funny is he's actually been pretty good this year, so
Low bar.
can't blame. Well, when he's top 5 in scoring on your team, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or no, he's not top 5 anymore. Sean Corrali passed him finally.
Let's go, Ohio.
He's tied with Johnny Gaudreau, though. That's all you need to know.
I know which free agent I'm taking, and it's not Johnny Gaudreau.
Imagine telling someone 2 years ago that Gaudreau and Gabranson are going to sign in. Gabranson's not the worst signing out of the two. That's insane. And then they got a guy named Justin Danforth who's actually doing something. Like, Provorov leads their team with 12 points.
Yeah,
They don't have a leading forward till Boone Jenner. Ugh.
Their captain.
I mean, yeah, but it's not good enough. Oh, well.
Okay.
They're going to score 6 on us tonight just because of that.
Oh, yeah. Good Branson hat trick incoming.
No, Gaudreau hat trick to get off the schneid from line A all 3 times.
So, I know this isn't in the notes, but I kind of want to look at the free agency class that's coming up because there are a couple of guys on it that are having a pretty good season.
Samson Reinhart.
That is correct.
William
Samsonov
Nylander.
Reinhart. And also Calgary, Alberta native William Nylander. Do you think, like, Nylander, do you think he stays in Toronto? Like, do you think they'll be able to afford him, or do they? Because the way he's playing now, like, it's at least $10 million. At least. Like, if you were Nylander's agent, you're looking at Mitch Marner, and
I'm looking at what Artemi Panarin got. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you
Price
go.
of the brick
Even better
going up.
example. I am
Like,
equal to Artemi Panarin, and Panarin.
Looking at Pasternak's contract, like, dude, he's on a 100-point pace. He can get whatever he wants. And if the Leafs can't afford him, he'll walk and go somewhere that can't afford him. And I promise you, if William Nylander makes the open market, there will be at least 3 teams making salary dump trades to get the cap space to go sign that guy. So, and the only reason I don't think the Leafs can sign him is because Marner has a no move. You can't move him to keep Nylander. Yeah. And if you keep all 4, you're going to have a back end that accounts for a total of like $8 million total dollars. And that's not a winning formula. And 7.5 of those are going to Riley. So, like, they'll have 50-something mil locked up in 5 players. That's not good. You're not going to win that way. Unless you sign the rest of your team to league min, but this isn't franchise mode. Like,
yeah,
oh,
getting
we're
the
gonna
guy
sign Matthew Nyes to 1.5 times 4. Yeah, I'm so sure, buddy. I'm so sure.
Yeah, get the guy that's always like low top 6, like 73 overall. Get him at league win, then he'll get like a jump up to 77.
Guys, don't worry. Fraser Minton's going to be a top line forward for us for the rest of the season. Like I think the Leafs would rather have more depth than limit themselves with Nylander. But who knows? Maybe they just say, "Fuck it, we can win with these 4 players." But like it, I think it would have to take the Leafs making the conference final to keep Nylander. I genuinely do, and I don't think they're gonna trade him. So this is one of those cases where they're not going to sign until the end. But
and that's the point I kind of want to make. Like, this year they have to. You gotta put everything on the table and like go for a Stanley Cup run. Like, because you can't just lose in the first round with Nylander again and let him walk for nothing. Like, if you trade a first round pick, whatever you had, trade all your prospects and get good players like half retained, like. If you can get to like the conference final and whatever, and you lose Nylander, like it helps ease the pain. Obviously, it's gonna suck losing a player of Nylander's caliber, but you went to the conference final. But they can't lose in the first round again, definitely, and they can't lose how they did in the second round. Like I think if you're Brad Tree, live, laugh, and love, I think you gotta make a big move, and that would be Nikita Zadorov. Sorry, what?
Brad Trevangelion.
Nikita Zadorov, baby. Also, but no, Calgary and Toronto would be great partners. Just get the best players. Get Lindholm, get Zadorov, get Hanifin. Could have Hanifin, bring him together to play with Magic Mitchie Marner, and you're good.
Agreed. I don't know, man. Like the problem with the free agency class right now is I bet you in 3 months half these dudes are extended because that's just how the NHL works.
It's depressing. Like Tavo he's probably gonna get extended.
Tavo's not leaving Carolina.
Though actually I don't know because Carolina is kind of cheap. So if he wants too much, he might go to free agency. And then they'll just pluck some guy from the minors you've never heard of and replace him.
Noel Gunler, come on down.
Noel Gunler, come on up. Finally, it's gonna happen.
I'm trying to think. There's one more big free agent that I'm missing in here, but Reinhardt, I think, is pricing himself out of Florida really fast. And
I don't think Reinhardt's gonna stay. Out. But there's less. There's like Florida knows they can go on a deep playoff run, and they'll if they lose Reinhardt, it's not as bad as if Toronto lost Nylander. But yeah. Both win the same draft 2014. I think they'll both be 27, 28-year-olds once they hit the market, and there will be teams that offer them 7 years. And it's not like you're giving it to a 30, 31, 32-year-old even. You're giving it to a guy 20, they'll be 35 at the end of the contract. You can live with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. That's why I get there's Blackhawk fans that are just I don't want them to buy any big free agents, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're not. If William Nylander wants to come to Chicago and you openly say you don't want him, I don't know what to tell you about that.
You know what? I think he's going to come to Chicago because
you want to see this team win at any point in the foreseeable future. No, but I want one more year of tanking. It's just sure, that'll change. Go tank and get Michael Misa if that's really what you want. But this team's not going to be able to tank next year. I'm sorry.
No, you can't keep tanking, man. That's why this year I'm just taking the approach what happens. If you get another top pick by pick, fine. But also you can't just keep bottoming out. Last year was a special case where they just traded away everyone and it happened to work out. You got Bedard. You got to thank your lucky stars that you got a player of that ilk. You got to. Again, I don't think anyone's expecting this team to make the playoffs, but there's got to be improvements made. You can't just keep finishing at the bottom of the barrel. Optics wise, and just for that locker room, you can't lose 50 plus games a year again, continually.
Yeah, no, you can't, and that's why I feel I keep stressing I don't want them to get on a bad losing streak because it's just going to keep developing those losing habits, and I don't I'd rather they win 30-something games this year, lose 45-ish. I don't really care. Just don't be what San Jose is right now, which is maybe you get 20 wins.
Yeah.
Ugh, ridiculous.
And don't be Columbus. San Jose has won a couple games, which good for them, but it's kind of the same thing Columbus where the vibes are off. It just doesn't seem fun to play there.
They're doing what the Blackhawks did last year without Patrick Kane and Max Domi scoring every game. And as stupid as that sounds, they won him a couple games. Sharks don't have that. So it's Mackenzie Blackwood not let up 5 goals. And that's nothing against Mackenzie Blackwood because he's actually been really good this year. But that's the point. He has to be on his noggin to win games, which I guess is kind of how the Hawks are right now. Mrazek usually has to stay on his dome if they're going to win. But I feel bad for Sharks fans. They had a long time of being really good.
Man, they had a 15, almost 20-year run of being
the Red Wings, bro.
Yeah, but they never won. They got so close in 2016, but they could just even the Capitals got over the hump. It sucks that the Sharks never could. And they
2019, I think they were closer than people give them credit for.
Yeah, 2019 is still such a it's so Mickey Mouse. How the Sharks came back against Vegas, just that whole game, the Blue, the Lightning getting swept, the Blues go, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a Blackhawks fan, I don't like the Blues. Congrats that they won, but it just feels that's kind of, it's not that they necessarily won, they were the best team. It's because the field was so wide open because so many of the teams, good teams, just flamed out in the first or second.
Yeah, that was the year where all the 1 seeds lost. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got upset.
That wasn't them running the gauntlet and winning the cup. the year before, the Capitals had to go through the Blue Jackets, who weren't easy. Then they had to go through the Penguins, then the Lightning, and then the Golden Knights. Like that's to me, that's running the gauntlet. Like the Blues, who do they go through? Okay, the Jets,
Winnipeg.
yeah, the Jets. I think they went through the Stars. The Stars gave them a good challenge. So maybe it's not horrible, but like I still think the Caps like ran the gauntlet. The Blackhawks ran the gauntlet in 2015. The Penguins ran the gauntlet in 2017. I don't know if I can say the same for the Blues though, but maybe that's just me being a hater.
Who did the Blues play in round 2? Because they played the Stars in round 2 in 2016.
No, they play the Stars too because Pat Maroon had the double.
Oh yeah, it was
winner.
7 games and they had. Yep, I remember now. Yep, I remember. It like I don't know. That second round I blocked out entirely.
I kind of blocked out the whole playoff.
Yeah, that was the first year Carolina started streaking. Like, whatever.
I remember more about the Raptors playoff run that year than I do the actual like Stanley Cup playoffs because I kind of just tuned out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was the People's Stanley Cup run. Wet fart.
Yeah. Some other, I have the UFA list pulled up. Another notable one is Jonathan Marchessault, last year's Conn Smythe winner, is hitting the market. Tyler Toffoli's hitting the market. I think that'll be a good value signing for some team. Like there's guys, but then they're gonna get re-signed.
Yeah,
So
there's no way I see Marchessault getting to March 1st or July 1st. You know who might get there though is Stamkos at this rate.
Ooh, yeah.
Stamkos might be out there on July 1st.
Hey, his good pal Tyler Johnson is on the Blackhawks. I mean,
oh God, get Stamkos to mention.
I mean, there is a Lightning and Blackhawks connection, like Brennan Hagel going there.
We're Lightning North.
Yeah.
Or Midwest Lightning. I don't know. Whichever you want to call it.
Midwest Lightning, or maybe they are the Southern Blackhawks. The Florida Blackhawks.
Florida Blackhawks. Oh my God, that used to be the Panthers, bro. That used to be their job.
Yeah, the Panthers and Hawks trade so much because Dale Talon was there for a while,
and Carolina, like
Arizona, a lot.
They all the former Hawks end up in like the same 4 or 5 spots it used to be. Now it's a little different, but I mean it's still kind of like that, I guess.
Toronto, Tampa Bay. I'm trying to think.
Edmonton loves our used toys. They took Yanmark and Keith.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna hurt myself thinking about this.
Dude, you know who I found out's on San Jose a couple days ago? Ryan Carpenter. Poor guy.
I think I knew that. I remember like when Eric Johnson scored that goal against the Sabres, like I'm like, oh yeah, he's playing for the Sabres. But I remember when I was playing franchise mode, I saw Eric Johnson on the Sabres. I'm like, no, that's not right. They must have messed up the rosters. I'm like, oh, he actually signed with the Sabres.
They signed him after signing Connor Clifton, which I thought was interesting.
Connor Clifton, I remembered for whatever weird reason, but like Eric Johnson, it just hasn't registered in my head because for so long he's been with the Avs. And just him being a Sabre, that it's just weird. You know, just some player, even though Eric Johnson is like not like a Hall of Famer, like he's established NHL. There's sometimes where a player will play with an NHL team their entire career, and then they'll just briefly go to a different team for like 2 games, and they wear that jersey, and it's a cursed image. It's like Marty Brodeur when he went to the Blues. Daniel Alfredson. Yeah, Daniel. There's a couple weird ones that went to the ring because there's Alfredson, then there's Mike Modano who got scratched for game 1500 because Mike Babcock.
I'll go ahead and say Keith in an Oiler uniform still looks weird as hell. Like,
yeah,
even if it was for 1 year.
Yeah,
it's different. That's for sure. It'd be like if Bergeron wore a different jersey.
That would be weird. Yeah.
Like Crosby wearing a different jersey. That's never happening.
That will never happen. Same with
and if it does, shame on whoever's the owner of that team.
I think they'll do whatever it takes to keep like Crosby in Pittsburgh, and same with Washington with Ovechkin. Like, do you want to
Where
talk about
is Eminem in the item shop?
Are you actually going through it right now?
No, it fucking popped up as an ad when I went to the home screen.
I literally
can see Eminem stance the.
That's an awfully hot dropping spot.
Don't be messing with me and my minions.
Shout out to Gruendam.
Yeah, shout out to Gruendam.
We need that like design of him, and then like in Fortnite, like he just has a bunch of minions falling around. That'd be pretty friggin' epic, I think.
Dude, you know who I found out's on San Jose a couple days ago? Ryan Carpenter.
What? Then there's the tweet of like, yeah, if Omni-Man isn't caked out, I ain't playing or buying it.
Listen, I can't wait to twerk on someone with Omni-Man. That's what I'm looking for. Oh my God. So ESPN just tweeted something, start bench cut, Lightning McQueen, strip Weathers, Jackson Storm. Stop. Cut Jackson Storm. Anyways.
It always finds a way to cars.
Oh my God.
It's so Nick coded.
It always is, bro. It always is.
That's so funny.
Oh my
God, the
radio Fortnite are gonna have Eminem music all day. That's so cool.
Do I hear what's that playing in the background?
Oh my God, me rolling up in my balloons. Me rolling up with the plunger gun, blasting Eminem.
Venom. Focus right now. It's so stupid. Hello everyone, I'm Markiplier.
When do they put Markiplier in the game?
We do need Markiplier. No, they didn't put Markiplier. I wish they put Markiplier in it.
Right.
Then they put MatPat in too. Oh, so I was listening to the Smosh. They were reading Reddit stories. They read a story that we read before. It was the one where it was the guy who was like, I can come on command because I got a vasectomy. And I like heard that and I'm like, no way. We read this like a month before, and then like they went to the comments and was like, yeah, this guy's the nutbender, and they all laughed. I'm like, oh my God.
The nutbender, my favorite. My favorite of the avatars, personally.
The
fire, air, water, nut.
Oh, I don't know why. My head just originally went to the James Cameron blockbuster.
Your brain went to the blue people, didn't you? Typical radical left.
It's James Cameron, the greatest pioneer. Well, I have to stick with James Cameron as being a Canadian, and me being woke and all. So, speaking of countries, there might be a World of Cup of Hockey next year, potentially.
World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah.
We're gonna put the kids in the playpen for a week. That's what that is. Not all of them. Some of them said slurs. We can't put them in there.
We can't put them together.
Sorry, no Germany, no Russia, no Czechia, no Slovakia. Sorry, y'all did some bad stuff. Can't play on the playground today. Strictly U.S., Canada, Sweden, and Finland. Pathetic. Sorry.
Yeah, they had their cards flipped. Like when you're doing bad in school, like in elementary school, like, okay, go flip your card now. You have like a yellow card or however.
Yeah, you have a red star. Damn it!
That's the SpongeBob episode where they remove the good
stormy
noodles.
Cloud.
Now you're stuck in it, and you're gonna die in it, just like Fortnite.
It's like Butters when he has the kissing booth. Hey, you get a nice little stormy cloud. But dude, this is just the NHL's half-ass way of saying like, oh, we tried, didn't work. Sorry, guys. Like, y'all suck. Y'all suck. Especially with the way this sport is growing to where it's not just 4 effing countries that run this sport. Like, yeah, it's good on them they got Sweden. It's good on them they got Finland. Sorry, number 1 and 2 scores in the league are from Russia. Like, give me a break with that. Oh my God. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with the fact that Slovakia isn't going to be there with how they've had such a youth movement. I can't. Oh my God. I can't. Oh my God.
I get there are geopolitical. You know what? Hot take. I think war sucks because obviously none of these players asked for it. But in Russia in particular, like all those players are basically puppets for Putin. Like I do get that, but it fucking sucks. Like I want to see all the best players from all the best countries playing against each other. Last time we had that, like, yes, 2016 World Cup of hockey, yes, but like 24, like. For me, Sochi, like the Sochi Olympics, the 2010 Olympics, like all the Olympics that were played since '98, like that's like the watermark for what international hockey should be. Like the World Cup of Hockey, yeah, it was nice, it was quirky, it was cool seeing Team Europe and Team North America, even though it seemed like good ideas. You know what? Sometimes the NHL does stupid stuff and it works. Like broken clock is right twice a day, but like how. You go almost 10 years, a decade, we might not see Crosby and McDavid play together. And if like we keep doing this, we might not see McDavid and Bedard play together. Like,
No, they suck. They suck.
they really do.
They suck. They don't even want to try. It's fucking stupid.
No.
They don't give a shit. They don't give two fucks. They saw John Tavares tearing his ACL at the Olympics in 2014 and said,
we're not going.
yes, we don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God. That's all they thought when they saw that man tear his knee. I promise you. Because I swear to God, they never had this approach beforehand. They did not. They did not for the 20 years that they did this shit. The Czechia, who has won a gold medal at the Olympics, is not going to be in this shit. Cracks me the fuck up. Cracks me the fuck up. Oh my God. Russia's got probably the biggest stack pool of talent we've ever seen, and they're not going to be able to be in it because their leader's a fucking knob. Like, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Oh, yes, third best player in the world won't be in it either. Nah, we don't need those guys in Germany. Like, who needs that, right? Who needs that? Roman Yossi, Kevin Fiala, Timo Meyer. Come on, give me a fucking break. This sport sucks. Sport fucking sucks. I hate it. Like, the worst. It's actually the worst. And the best part is, if they add Team North America and Team Europe, all that gets fixed. All that gets fucking fixed, which is stupid.
That's what I mean. Like the one thing they did before, yeah, we all thought it was stupid, but it ended up being fun. They're not even going to do that now. What?
No, because you know the old hockey fan didn't like it. Fuck off. Like, you're not doing this for the old hockey fan. You're doing this so in 20 years your sport's not dead. Idiots. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, but we need to make money. We'll put it in North America. Like,
they're gonna put the fucking final in the States. They're not even gonna put a game in Canada. Like, they're morons, bro. Jesus, they're fucking morons. I can't do it. I can't deal. I can't deal with the stupidity. It's insane. You had 7 years to figure something out. And this is what you could do. And it's not even this year, it's next year. So they have another year to figure this shit out.
And then they're gonna find some excuse. Oh, we just can't do it this year.
It just was so fast. It came up on us so fast, even though we've been planning this for 5 fucking years since they signed the CBA deal in 2020. Give me a fucking break, dude. They suck. They suck.
We're not going to the Olympics in 2026, but you know what? Maybe in 2030.
We'll have our own little pissy tournament a year before, though, to try to look like we care. Assholes. Let's not do the most televised event in the world and put our best player. Like, when our league is seeing a upburst of talent that it hasn't seen since, I'll go as far back as the fucking 90s at this point, because it's past 2005 when that regime came in. There's more talent in the league now than there was when the 2005
I will go further than that. I think it's almost 80s level, like Gretzky and like Lemieux. Yeah.
Dude, it's the best the hockey has been, and God knows how long, and they don't want anyone to see it. They don't want anyone to see it. You know what would be a great way to make money? Getting the people across the fucking world to care about you and these players. But how are they supposed to know how are they supposed to know? Oh, yeah, because you went to Australia once. They should probably know, right? Fucking clowns, dude. Fucking clowns. I can't. Like, the echo chamber, that must be the boardroom when they make these decisions. I don't understand why they don't like it. Yeah, I thought they'd all like our decision. Like, just a bunch of fucking ass kissers and yes men behind Bettman. It's unbelievable. Like, you're telling me not one person in the NHLPA said something about this? Like, really? Oh, wait, I forgot. NHLPA doesn't give a shit. As much as they like to say they do, they don't give a shit. That's why I really don't feel bad half the time when this shit happens. Because if the NHLPA did care, like any other sports player-to-player association, this shit would get changed. NBA wouldn't allow this shit. NFL wouldn't allow this shit. Because you want to know why? Their players' associations actually give a shit. Sad, dude. It's actually sad. So when the players complain, it's on them too. Just want to point that out. It's on everyone.
Bro, even friggin' baseball had a World Baseball Classic this year.
It was fucking great. And it was fucking great last year. Everyone thought it was going to be stupid or at least mediocre, and it ended up being fucking great.
Dude, the final at-bat was Ohtani versus Trout. Like, that would be like, I don't know. Like,
it'd be like being in the shootout and, you know, McDavid's going up against Hellebuyck for the win. Like, that's what that is. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's
whatever. The sport won't grow, and they'll continue to look at the wall and be like, why won't our shit stick? I don't understand. We put so much glue on it. Why won't it stick? Oh, wait, the glue is just, you know, white, unknown substance? Oh, well. We'll try again next year. Or maybe in another 10. Who knows? maybe we'll try him with Bedard's like 30. We'll see.
Yeah,
Mostly
like
younger, so.
we're pushing past the point where we're not gonna see like
McDavid's is never going to
McDavid.
play internationally.
Yeah.
We're never going to see Kane with Matthews. Never going to see Kucherov with Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Never going to see Hedman with Carlson again.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to see Dahlin with Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to see Pedersen with them. No. Never going to see the stacked Finnish team that they would have.
No.
Because it'd be like Rantanen, Aho, gives a shit on the top line. Forsberg. Like, not Forsberg. I mean, you can go Line, like Jesus. Like, all these teams are ready to compete, and we will not get to see it. Oh, but we get to see 4 of them, though. So we should be grateful as fans, right? Wet fart.
And they're like players are gonna opt out of it too. Like I'm pretty sure there's players that like didn't.
Oh, I get a week vacation instead of flying to
Yeah.
Sweden? Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that. Idiots.
Yeah, like there's gotta be an incentive. Like ideally, in an ideal world, like they should play at the Olympics every 4 years, like, and then on the opposite, like 2 years. So like, for example, like they should have played in 2022 and then play in this upcoming year in 2026. They should have the World Cup of Hockey next year and then play in 2028. Every alternating 2 years, you have one hockey tournament. One is the World Cup of Hockey, and one is the Olympics. And
Crazy how soccer's been doing this for like 50 years and they haven't had a problem.
What? They
Crazy.
aren't the biggest sport in the world.
By a country fucking mile. But, let's not look at the sports that are doing well. Let's look at us who are doing well by our standards, which aren't good.
Like World Cup of Hockey, like you can go different places in the US and Canada, whereas like the Olympics, you go to like they played in Russia 1 year, they played in Italy in 2006, they played in Nagano in 98. Like you go global with those, but then World Cup of Hockey, maybe you go like to like across the United States and Canada, maybe go over the seas to like Sweden and Finland, like with established arenas already. Like,
dude, I
can't give them as much exposure as you can. Like the most watched television program in Canadian history is the 2010 Olympic gold medal game. Almost like 2/3 of the country at one point or another watched it. Like you're telling, and that was the best on best, Canada versus USA. Like if they're worried about money, like do that with the World Cup. Like people are going to tune in, people are going to watch. But if you don't do it, that's not going to happen. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I don't. It shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And also, like, to further prove your point that the players aren't going to want to go, this is so turning into the World Championships. Because it's in the middle of the fucking season. So you're telling me a team that's in the playoff hunt's going to be like, yeah, I'll take a week off to go overseas and potentially get injured. Like, yeah, I know they did it in the Olympics. That's a different story.
I feel
that's
Olympics
fighting for your
different.
country. This isn't the same thing. You're winning some stupid trophy in a tournament that doesn't matter. Like that isn't a Stanley Cup or a gold medal or something that's going to get you in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like they don't show when Taves gets nominated that he won a World Cup of Hockey in 3 years or Bergeron. No. They're not going to show that.
No.
It's going to turn to the world. It's just such a half-assed approach, dude. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Well, you worked fine in September. Like, just put it down.
We're
like,
great
in the middle
in September.
Of the season. Yeah.
And then they went right into training camp. And guess what? Hockey was effing amazing to start the year. Because
2016-17 was great because Matthews got off to a great start. But that was McDavid's first, great season where he got 100 points. Like, Crosby played on Canada. He went on and won another cup. Like, 16-17 was a great year.
Oh, well. They can keep, like I said, they can keep sitting at looking at their wall full of shit and wondering why it's not sticking. It's not my issue.
And on that note,
sorry everyone, but there's not really much positive to talk about this one, especially for our international audience, because must suck not being able to see your country compete because the NHL's lazy. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. They could. They just don't want to. Oh well.
Like so many fans showed up to watch those international games, like those
from
games
everywhere.
In Sweden. But then it goes the other way too. These games are getting blacked out. You wonder why you can't grow the sport. Like
blackouts are such a long gone.
It's so archaic.
That's from the 90s, bro. Like we're in 2022 where streaming is starting to take over, or already has. That not even starting. It's about to surpass cable in some regards. Like figure it the F out, or you're going to lose fans. And not just short term, we're talking long term at this point. I can't tell you how many hockey fans I saw that are just the last 2 years, just that this is it for them. Like, they don't care anymore. And it sucks. But that's what happens when your sport's run by knobs.
We're so deep into it, like it's hard for us to quit. But like again, we always bring back the
Too far
normie
gone.
conversation. You can't bring normies in. Like we talked about the NHL potentially being as good at like hockey being as popular as a sport as it's been since the 80s. You know what happened in the 90s? There was that thing saying, oh, you know, hockey might overtake basketball as the new biggest sport in North America. And then what happened? Lockout.
Michael
Devils
Jordan.
playing trap style. Another lockout.
Worst era of hockey known to man for like 7 years.
Most
Deadlock era.
boring. Yeah. I
Back
also
when,
blame the Devils for that.
gotta love that was the last time they were on like really hard marketed too, was when they were dog shit to watch as a league. Like 2-1 games, no movement, whatever. It should not be rocket science. I will continue to say that.
And yeah, then now you're gonna do the same thing again, where you have a golden opportunity, so many marketable young stars, and I don't really feel like it.
No, why would we want all these young Slovaks at the tournament? Why would we want David Pastrnak there? Like, I don't. Why would we want Artemi Panarin there? Why would we want these guys there? They're all trash. We only care about the Canadians and the Swedes and the Americans. Clowns. Whatever. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I love how like doom and gloom we were in this episode. And I think it's good to have some of those episodes where it's like you have more fun than this episodes where it's like, why it makes you think, why do we watch this sport? Like, why do we get so invested in it?
It's a great sport. It's a terrible league. That's
Mhm.
always what I'll say about it. It is one of the best sports on earth with the worst run league I've ever seen in my life. And we've seen multiple leagues go under in our lifetime. Shocking. And what's crazy is they're making more money now than ever, which makes it even more mind-boggling.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be these issues. Whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna end off the pod. The Blackhawks game starts in like 10-15 minutes. Looks like Corey Perry is scratched too alongside Taylor Hall.
What?
Yeah. Charlie Romero just tweeted that Corey Perry is listed as a scratch tonight versus Columbus. Taylor Hall.
Maybe
is
they
all
just gave him
set.
the day off. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a maintenance day. But
oh well.
well, you know what? Let's end it off on a positive note. I know American Thanksgiving is tomorrow, so I hope you enjoy that and have a great time. As same thing to any American listeners.
It's gonna be fun. Good holiday. Good to see the family as always.
There you go. And then like regardless of what happens with that Leafs Blackhawks game, like I think Leafs Blackhawks games are always fun. So you'll
it's a doozy. I'm just glad to be back at the UC on Friday. It'll be fun.
hell yeah.
Hopefully they get a goal this time.
Oh yeah.
I've seen
No,
two
they should.
pullouts.
That's bullshit. They should have had a goal. Come on, that Bedard goal.
Yeah,
was
I've
touchdown.
seen
So-
2 games this year, and it's the Boston game where they lost 3-0, and I saw the Tampa game where they won 5-3. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum with this Hawks team this year. We'll see.
You just want to see it at United Center now.
Want to hear Chelsea Dagger?
Hell yeah. All right, then. Once again, to all the American listeners, hope you have a great and safe Thanksgiving. And we shall talk another time. Peace out, y'all.